What's up, guys? Back with me is here with Smallville, Season 7, Episode 2, Kara. Okay, so this episode starts with Lois and Clark, and they're looking at this random spaceship when this blonde girl shows up and says, "Hey, keep your paws off my stuff," and knocks out Lois, and and she and Clark speed, and she and Clark speeds, and he's like, and she breaks Lois's phone, saying, "This is what happens when you touch my stuff," and flies off. So Clark's like, and he tells Chloe that there was another Kryptonian girl who has the same powers as him, has the same, but has a bad attitude. so yeah, so so yeah, so they discover that this girl has the like has been called from parents saying that she's looking for a baby and a crystal, because there's a baby and a crystal, and she's looking for the baby. So she keeps asking kids. But then Clark's like, "You're not gonna hurt anyone else. You're not gonna kill anyone." She's like, "I haven't killed anyone, not yet." So yeah. So he's like, "What are you looking for?" And she's like, "I'm looking for Kal-El." And she's like, and then we transition to Clark's house, and she's like, "Wait, you're not Kal-El. You're just a teenage guy. Kal-El's just a baby who Kal-El's just a baby." And he's like, girl whose name is Kara. He says, "Kara, things have changed in the last 18 years in their concept. And she's like, that's impossible. I was Jedi after Earth at the same time you were." And he's like, "Yeah, you must have been frozen you must have been in hibernation. And then when the dam broke, it must have awakened you. And that's when Lex found. That's when she was saved. That's when she saved Lex. So she's like, how long has she been in hibernation?" And he's like, "For this show's timeline, 18 years." So she's like, Krypton, and she's like, how can that happen? Krypton's still alive. We were on a global war." And he's like, Krypton's dead. Everyone's gone." And she's like, "Planets don't explode, Kal-El." And yeah, so they go to so yeah, and she's like, "Where's your ship?" And she's like, we're access her ship." And she's like, "My ship can be accessed by me, or it will cause an explosion." And she's like, "What kind of explosion?" "In your term, a nuclear explosion, a nuclear war explosion." So yeah, so they go to Chloe, and he's like, "This is a waste of time, Kal-El." And she's like, "First off, it's Clark." But if you think about it, John Jones called him Kal-El, and he had no problem with it then. Why does he have a problem with it now? And yeah, it's season 6, episode 22, and season 6, episode 12. John Jones kept calling him Kal-El, and he had no problem with it. But when Kara does it, or Kira as they call her for some odd reason, why does he have a problem with it now? That kind of makes some sense. But yeah, so Lex is able to track where Lana is in Shanghai. So he so so he goes, and she pulls a gun out on him, and he's like, "Okay, I know I did some bad stuff to you. You did some bad stuff to me, Lex." But he's like, "Come on, with my father presumed dead, with Lionel presumed dead, he's like, she can go back to her normal life, and no one will bother her again." But and he won't bother her again. So yeah. So he's like, "Let's take you home." So I think she went home. So yeah. And it's also revealed that Lana didn't actually it's also revealed how Lana survived the explosion. Lex created a clone of her for some odd and random reason, and Lana knew about it, and that clone wasn't alive, so Lana took the clone, put it in the driver's seat, and she closed the door, so that's why people thought she was dead. So now Lana Lang is technically dead. But so she do it to get rid of the Luthors? I don't know. Did she also think yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. That did she think of what an impact her death would have on Clark? Or did she just care about thinking, just not, anyway, yeah, so, yeah, and also that's my problem. No one, that's my problem with this, like, Lana being dead thing. Everyone just thinks she died. They don't check a body. They think they have her death certificate, but if you see, but the one thing they never checked was to see her body. They never went to, like, look at her body, so obviously they would, if they did that, they would, if they didn't see a body, they would know she's alive, but no one ever does that. I get it's a show, but come on. If a normal if a person, if you were told a person died, and no one, and wouldn't you ask, did you see a body to know that, to classify that said person is dead? Come on, I know it's a show. I'm just saying. I would have, if I was them, I would have seen, I would have went to Lana's grave, just like Clark did in season 4, and saw that Lana wasn't dead, because there was no there, all Lionel saw, Lionel fell back, so he only saw an explosion. Yeah. Anyway, not focus on that. So anyway, Lex takes her home. So yeah, so Lois. So we meet this new editor named Grant Gabriel, who is really interested in Lois, and he's really interested in her, skills as a reporter. So yeah, so he asks her. He's like, as a reporter, and he's like, I work for your rivaling wizard. And he's like, huh? We're the Daily Planet. We have no rivals. So, yeah, Lois. So, Lois. So yeah, Lois gives like an tries to do a video on the spaceship, but then it just glows, and then she cars on top of it, and it just disappears. So yeah, so Gabriel, he likes Lois's, story, but he's not gonna publish it. So he's like, "Hey Lois, I'm gonna give you a job at the Daily Planet." Finally, it's happening where Lois gets a job at Daily Planet. Now all we need is Clark. Yeah. Good job, Lois. You may not work for the Inquisitor anymore, but you're where you're supposed to belong. Yeah, and Clark. Yeah, and then we see Clark, and she's like, well, and she's like, oh, I mean Clark, and she's like, so I think she's gonna call him Clark now. So good for her learning his actual name. Actually, his actual name Kal-El, but so yeah, and she's like, we need to find a crystal, because if it falls any other evil hand, it could be bad. So yeah, and Lex is also like, I want you to find the girl that saved him. So Kara, you might be in trouble, or you might be saved. I don't know. And basically, Lara. Okay, so this episode is really good. It introduced Kara or Kara. I like name Kara better, so I'm gonna name her Kara for the rest of the season or rest of the series. So Kara did. So I really enjoyed this episode because it introduced Kara. She was in the last episode. She's also in the intro now. So yeah. As I said, I totally like this episode, but there's kind of a flaw with this one. I guess they wanted people to think Lana was dead, but no one looked at a body. Like, no one checked to see if there's a body for Lana. They just expected her to be dead, and yeah, you're supposed the show. I know it's a show, and you're not supposed to like say, "Oh yeah, she's not dead." We just expect it until the show actually reveals it. But if I were them, I would have looked for a body, cause yeah, I would have been like, "Hey, she's not dead." They may want to believe it, but she's not dead. I would look for a body, but they were like, "Okay, she's dead. Let's get on with her." Yeah, yeah, and yeah. Let's get on. Yeah, and also Clark does go to the fortress, and yeah, he's like, I met Kara, a good girl named Kara, and he's like, that's not Kara's not what she seems. And he's like, oh yeah, just like the last time you sent Kara to me, Lindsay Harrison reference. And yeah, he's like, I know you and Jarrell were brothers. I know you and Jarrell were brothers. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, Kara may not what she seems. So, or something. Kara, and he gives her something about Kara why. So yeah. So and Lois finally got her job at the Daily Planet. Good job for you, Lois. So like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you next Smallville.